Is Wonder Woman immortal? It's one of the more persistent questions about the iconic Amazon warrior, one that spans decades of comics, movies, and debates among fans. She can survive blows that would obliterate any normal human. Wonder Woman's origin story, as told in her earliest appearances in the 1940s, paints her as the daughter of Queen Hippolyta, fashioned from clay and brought to life by the Greek gods. Over the years, retellings have tweaked those origins. Sometimes she's the child of Zeus. Sometimes she's simply bestowed with divine gifts. But from the start, she's always been something more than mortal. In the modern DC extended universe, Wonder Woman's immortality is hinted at, but never explicitly defined. And iconic characters remain ageless because their legends must continue. Diana Prince today is as unchanging as she was decades ago, because she can't be harmed, but because myth by its nature is immortal. In Wonder Woman, we witness Diana wading through the trenches of World War I, an empowerment than any power bestowed by the gods. As long as there are stories to tell and battles to be fought, Wonder Woman will endure. Appearing as youthful and powerful as she does in Batman v Superman a full century later, the answer, as is often the case with legends, is a little complicated. Within the world of the comics and the films, she is ageless, immune to the passage of years and nearly impossible to kill. Yet she isn't untouchable. She's vulnerable to certain threats, and her story sometimes requires her to face mortality. Bruce Wayne can't help but notice that she hasn't aged a day. Implication is clear. She's not just long-lived, she's functionally immortal, at least by human standards. She's taken on gods and monsters and walked away with hardly a scratch. But does that mean she can live forever? The stories sometimes introduce mystical threats or weapons, forged by gods or demons, that have the potential to kill even the undying. Is she immortal because of her divine blood, her Amazonian training, or the magic of her homeland? Or is it because the world needs her? When other heroes grow old and retire, Wonder Woman remains undiminished. In these moments, Diana's mortality is real, and the sense of danger is heightened. Her near invulnerability, lightning reflexes, and magical artifacts grant her a level of protection beyond understanding. But there's always one distant threat, one cursed god weapon that reminds us. Immortality in the DC universe isn't the same as invincibility. Let's start at the very beginning. In Greek mythology, the world that Wonder Woman's creators drew inspiration from immortality is a trait reserved for the gods and certain select demigods. The Amazons of myth, too, are closely linked with the divine. The clues are everywhere. She leaves the Mythra to live among humans, sometimes spending decades or longer in man's world, but she never seems to age. She's been present at key moments in the fictional history of Earth, sometimes fighting in World War II, sometimes battling threats in the modern age. When the comics show flash forwards to the distant future, it's not uncommon to see Wonder Woman standing strong, while her mortal allies have faded with time. Early Wonder Woman comics established that the Amazons live on the Mythra, an island shielded from the outside world by magic.
Ow.
There, they do not age. Other times, immortality is a bit of a sliding scale. For the Amazons, the more common approach is agelessness. They don't age, but they can be killed in battle. This is true for Diana as well. She has at times been gravely wounded or even killed by gods, monsters, or cataclysmic events. But unlike most, she's often resurrected, either by her own divine lineage or by intervention from powerful beings. They don't get sick. Centuries pass, but they stay forever in their prime. So what about Diana, Princess of the Mythra? But immortality in comics is rarely straightforward. Sometimes stories portray immortality as literal, never dying, never changing. The films bring their own spin. But there are exceptions, even within her own mythos. Of course, the real key to Wonder Woman's immortality is the story itself. Comic book time is fluid. Maybe that's why the question keeps coming up. So, is Wonder Woman immortal? But in the end, Diana's immortality may be more about her symbolism, her role as an eternal icon of justice, compassion, and perhaps that is the truest form of immortality of all.